time to annotate Thursday's DGP notes or help pages. So on Thursday, everyone, what are we looking for? Punctuation and capitalization. So let's go ahead. Remember that on Wednesday, that's when we really learn about our punctuation, depending on the purpose of the sentence. But I'm going to get my highlighter tool here. Oh, that is not a highlighter tool. All right. So with this highlighter tool, the first thing that we look for after we make our punctuation, as far as the purpose of the sentence, we look for capitalization. After capitalization, we look for semicolons. What's next, everyone? Apostrophes. Next, underlining and italicizing. Then we look for quotation marks and commas. I think Future made a song about some of y'all and what y'all do with them commas, but we're not going to talk about that right now, okay? We'll get into that. And we have some extra notes down here we're not going to bother highlighting. All right, moving back to the top. I want to teach you guys a mnemonic device. A mnemonic device is something to help you remember things. The mnemonic device that I want to teach you is called MINTS. You guys bear with me so I can write this out. Or type this out is what I should say. And yes, I do want to write it this way. And you should write it on your paper. Okay. So I'm going to start another box next to, no, I want that green still. Okay. So I'm going to start a new box. And what this means, this mnemonic device, a lot of you have some habits of not capitalizing things. I don't know if it's because of iPhones and predicative text and whatever, but you have to manually capitalize sometimes, and you just need to know what to capitalize. So you're always going to capitalize months. Write that down on your paper next to M. You're also always going to capitalize the letter I when it stands alone, like I'm going to the store, because this is not an iPhone or iPad. So when it stands alone, always do capitalize the letter I. Some of you are like, what? But I promise you, there are a lot of you, not a lot, but there are people that do not capitalize the letter I when they're writing, like they're waiting on the keyboard to do it for them when they're typing as well. You'll have things marked wrong when we write a little bit more throughout the year if you don't have I capitalized. All right, another thing that you capitalize would be names. Okay, this could be the names of people, places, you get the point. When it's a name, you capitalize it. You also will capitalize titles. This could be titles of books, of movies, and even people have titles like President Joe Biden. The president part is his title. Okay. And then the last part of this mnemonic device, you need to capitalize the start of sentences. Okay, sounds easy enough. So remember our mnemonic device, MINTS. Capitalize months, the letter I when it stands alone, names, titles, and the start of sentences. That's basically what all is going on here in our notes. Okay. Semicolons, they're going to join two or more clauses without a coordinating conjunction. So when you know that you only have one clause, will you need a semicolon? No. Next, apostrophes. Now, I've had students in the past say, Miss Demons, don't that need a comma to the top? It's not a comma to the top. It's called an apostrophe. And apostrophes, let me get my little tool again. Apostrophes are used to make words possessive or to make contractions. Some words that are already possessive may not need an apostrophe, but sometimes you need to do apostrophe S. For instance, my last name is Temmis, Temmis. It ends in an S. So I just put an apostrophe at the end of my name. All right, moving on. Underline, italicizing, these are the same thing. But the main thing you need to know here, you have to choose one. If I'm typing an essay out and I have the title of something that I need to underline and italicize, I have to always underline it or always italicize. I cannot switch back and forth. That confuses your reader, your audience. So Make sure that you underline or italicize the titles of long pieces of work. When they say long pieces of work, we're talking about newspapers, magazines, CDs, movies, novels, plays, musical compositions, and so on. You get it. You also could do like the names of ships, planes, trains, and artwork. You know that planes and ships sometimes have names? Yeah. So if you're writing that or typing that up in a paper, you would italicize or underline so that your audience knows. Okay. Next, quotation marks. Yes, you do use quotation marks if you're quoting someone, and that means you're saying word for word what they said. But quotation marks are also for the titles of short things. When we say short, short pieces of work like stories, short poems, short songs, articles, episodes of TV shows, things like that. Okay. And we already said dialogue. Let me just reiterate that. Things copied from sources. Okay. And this is some punctuation here. A little tip for you that commas and periods that follow quoted words always go inside the quotation marks. Okay. In case anyone forgets. And so sometimes when you're writing an essay or paper, AEC paragraph, whatever, you may want to go back and use your DGP notes to kind of self edit before the teacher looks at it and gives you a grade because you have all the answers here. All right. So a couple more things. We don't need to go into detail now, but we will as the year goes on. Commas. We have a list of 15 comma rules, and we'll just basically go over these as needed when we are correcting our sentences. All right. So that is everything we need to annotate in our notes for Thursday's DGP.